Welcome back to my channel, Mindful Chemistry Learning. On this channel, we learn 11th and 12th class chemistry and we solve the back exercises of NCERT 11th as well as 12th class. Now we are on chapter number 10 of 12th class NCERT back exercise chemistry, and the chapter is alkyl and aryl halides. In this video, I will be taking up the last three questions, that is question number 20 to question number 22. And if you want the solutions to the previous questions, I will be giving the link to that video in the description below. You can reach out to that video. Okay. So let's now move into question number 20. Yes, question number 20. Only 20. Right. So let's see what is it and what we need to do in it. Question number 10.20 is there. So the statement for this question is the treatment of alkyl chlorides with aqueous KOH. Okay. Treatment of alkyl chlorides with aqueous KOH leads to the formation of alcohols. Okay. We know this. We have used this many times in the equations, in conversions, right? But in the presence of alcoholic KOH, alkenes are major products. In the presence of alcoholic KOH, suppose we are taking this example, we take ethyl chloride and we treat it with alcoholic KOH. It will lead to the formation of ethene as the product, that is alkene. Okay, so HCl will be lost, KCl will be lost, and water will be lost, like this. Okay, now this is alkene. Now why is it so? Why is it happening that when we use the aqueous KOH, alcohol is being formed, and when we are using alcoholic KOH, alkene is being formed? First of all, we need to understand the nature of the reagent we are using here. So number one, we will be considering aqueous KOH. Now when we have aqueous KOH, what will happen? KOH, it will dissociate almost completely, or it is ionized almost completely in water. When it is dissolved in water, it is almost completely ionized. Now, this OH negative ion, that is the hydroxide ion, it is a good nucleophile. Good nucleophile. Now, when it is present inside water, what will happen? It will be hydrated. Now, what is the meaning of hydration? That is, it will be surrounded by water molecules from all the sides. Like this. So this is known as solvation, and in case of when we have solvent as water, it is known as hydration. So you can draw all the water molecules around the hydroxide ion. Now when it is solvated or when it is hydrated, what happens is its basic character decreases. Basic character decreases. Now, because the basic character is decreasing, it cannot abstract the proton from the beta position. It will not be able to abstract proton from the alkyl halide molecule. So it can only act as the nucleophile. So it just replaces the halide from the alkyl halide and leads to the formation of alcohol. Okay, let's now move into the second reagent, that is alcoholic KOH. Okay, so when we are talking about alcoholic KOH, what will happen? KOH has been dissolved in alcohol. Most of the times the alcohol is ethyl alcohol. Okay, so we can take ethyl alcohol here. Now KOH is a base. Alcohol is acidic in nature. We know that alcohol is acidic in nature. Now what will happen? When we are using alcoholic KOH, it leads to the formation of this salt, that is potassium ethoxide, plus it will lead to the formation of water. Now here which ion is there? C2H5O negative. Now this is a strong base, stronger than OH negative. Now, because it is stronger than OH negative, what will happen? It will be able to abstract the beta hydrogen from the alkyl halide molecule, leading to the formation of alkene. Hope this is clear to you. OH negative, when it is present in water, it will be completely hydrated from all the sides, and its basic character will decrease. Due to the decrease in basic character, what will happen? It will not be able to extract the proton from the beta position. But when we are talking about alcoholic KOH, KOH has been dissolved in an alcohol. It will lead to the formation of an alkoxide ion. In this case, we have considered ethoxide ion. Otherwise, if we are generally talking, it will be alkoxide ion. That alkoxide ion, it will be able to abstract the beta hydrogen because it is a stronger base than OH negative. Hope this is clear. So when beta hydrogen will be abstracted, it will lead to the formation of alkene as the major product. Okay, so let's now move into the next question. I'm just clearing my screen off. So the next question is question number 10.21. Seems to be a long question. Let's see what is the statement for it. Primary alkyl halide C4H9Br. We have been given the formula C4H9Br, and it has been given that it is a primary alkyl halide. So we cannot consider the secondary and tertiary isomers. We will be only considering the primary isomer. Okay, now this molecule, he's saying that it is A. It reacts with alcoholic KOH to give compound B. Okay, so A is reacting with alcoholic KOH to give compound B, right? Compound B is reacted with HBr, okay, HBr to give compound C, which is an isomer of A. A and C, these are isomers. Okay, right? Okay, when A is reacted with sodium metal, it gives D, that is C8H18. This has been given for the D. This is the formula for D, which is different from the compound formed when N-butyl bromide is reacted with sodium. So let's consider N-butyl bromide. When it will be reacted with sodium, what will happen? It will be Wurtz reaction. We have done it many a times now. CH3, CH2, 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 CH2. So 8 carbons will be there in the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This will be the product formed. Now, according to this statement, it is saying that this product is not formed. That C8H18 is not the one which is obtained from N-butyl bromide. This means A cannot be N-butyl bromide. This we have got from the statement itself, that this is a primary alkyl halide, but it is not N-butyl bromide. Fine. Now, give the structural formula of A and write the equations for all the reactions. Now, let's see how many isomers are possible for C4H9Br. C4H9Br, one can be this, that is N-butyl bromide, but from the statement we have come to know that it cannot be this, because it has already been given in the statement that this product formed, it is not the one obtained from N-butyl bromide. So this compound cannot be N-butyl bromide. Now, which other primary alkyl halide is possible from this formula? It is isobutyl bromide. Isobutyl bromide. So this is now the only other compound which is possible, which is primary and which is possible from this formula. Secondary and tertiary are possible, but it has already been given that it is primary. So this cannot be considered according to this statement. So this means this is the compound that we need to find out. Now we have got that this is the compound. Okay, now we need to write down all these equations. Okay, so let's now quickly write the equations. So now it has become very simple because we have got which compound is that. Okay, so CH3CH, CH3, CH2Br. This is A. Now we are reacting it with alcoholic KOH. So it will lead to the formation of, now it is alcoholic KOH. We have already done that alcoholic KOH. It leads to dehydrohalogenation. This compound will be formed. This is B. Okay. Then next step is when it is reacted with, when B is reacted with HBr, it gives C. Okay. Which is an isomer of A. Okay. So now we know how HBr reacts with alkenes. It is electrophilic addition reaction. So it will be like this. Tertiary butyl bromide is formed. Now this is an isomer of A. So this is the compound C. Okay. Next is when A is reacted with sodium metal, it gives a compound D. Okay. CH3CH, CH3, CH2Br plus sodium. Now this will be two molecules, this will be two sodium atoms. So the reaction occurs in the presence of dry ether. So it is CH3CH, CH3, CH2. Now it will combine with the other same unit, similar unit, CH3, CH2CH, CH3, CH3. So this molecule will be formed. Now, if you will count the number of carbons and hydrogens, it will be C8H18. Hope this is clear to you. If you have still any kind of doubt in this question, just write in the comment section below. I will take up in the next video. All right. Let's now move into the last question of this chapter. And with this, we will be done with this chapter, right? Okay. Hope you are getting a lot of conceptual clarity. Do share it with me if you are actually getting benefited. Okay, so it is 10.22 question. What happens when, number one is, it is having how many parts? 6 parts. Okay, when N-butyl chloride is treated with alcoholic KOH, just like Phillips it is, but it is given in words, N-butyl chloride. N-butyl, oh sorry, not bromide, it is chloride. Cl. Okay. Now it is treated with alcoholic KOH. Now I hope you know already, you know the answer, but I will be telling you here. CH3, CH2, CH double bond, CH2. Dehydrohalogenation will take place. Okay. Next is second one. Bromobenzene is treated with magnesium in the presence of dry ether. So this is bromobenzene. It is treated with magnesium in the presence of dry ether. So whenever alkyl and aryl halides are treated with magnesium in the presence of dry ether, Grignard reagent is formed. So it will lead to the formation of Grignard reagent. Okay. Then third one, chlorobenzene is subjected to hydrolysis. Chlorobenzene, when it is subjected to hydrolysis, that is, it is treated with aqueous NaOH. Okay, now see, in this reaction, what will happen? If no condition is there, we can write no reaction. Because for the replacement of this chlorine from benzene ring, it's very, very difficult because, you know, here it will be resonance. Due to resonance, there will be a double bond character. And OH negative will not be able to attack this position on benzene ring because benzene, it undergoes electrophilic substitution reactions, not nucleophilic substitution reactions. But if we need to actually carry out this reaction, we need to give very harsh conditions. Actually, this is the question of, I think, dose process. I mean, this is dose process only, but if no condition is given, you can write no reaction. But if the conditions are there, then you can just write the product formed, aqueous NaOH. It will be treated with aqueous NaOH. The temperature is going to be 623 Kelvin. I hope this is the right temperature, 623 Kelvin. And the pressure will be 300 atmosphere. Now this is dose process. Okay. So what will happen at the first step? It will lead to the formation of sodium phenoxide ion. Then it will lead to the formation of, after acidic hydrolysis, when it is treated with dilute acid, it undergoes acidic hydrolysis and it leads to the formation of phenol as the product. Okay, so I think this should be the equation. No reaction should not be written, perhaps, not sure. Okay. So next part of this question is, ethyl chloride is treated with aqueous KOH. Okay. Ethyl chloride. I hope you know this answer now. Alcohol will be formed. Okay. Next is fifth one. Methyl bromide is treated with sodium in the presence of dry ether. Methyl bromide is treated with sodium in the presence of dry ether. Again, it is Würth's reaction. Okay. CH3, CH3. It will lead to the formation of this 2NaBr. All right. Then last part of this question is, methyl chloride is treated with KCN. CH3Cl treated with KCN. Actually, it is alcoholic KCN. When it is treated with KCN, it is alcoholic. CH3CN will be formed. Cyanide will be formed, right? So this was the last part of this question. Last part of the last question. Hope you have got a lot of clarity on how to do the conversions, how to fill up the blanks and everything. Still, you feel any kind of confusions, just write in the comment section below. And even if you want to join my live online classes, just go to the description of this video. You will be able to reach out to me. Okay. I just want to say one thing. Do not depend upon only these videos. Do a lot of self-practice. It is important. And it's not at all difficult. When I was a student, I used to find organic chemistry like a ghost. Okay. But I was able to score very high and I topped in this subject, in the subject of chemistry during my graduation also, and in the post-graduation also, I performed quite well, just because I came to know about the right way to study this subject. First, go deep into the concepts, then solve a lot of problems, then see where you are facing the problem. That is the right way to do it. Okay. Okay, all the best. So I will be now meeting you in the next video with the next chapter, that is solutions to the questions of next chapter. God bless. Bye-bye. See you there.